Hello everyone, this is theStC here. I'm going to be casting a 1 versus 1 between Liquid TLO spawning down here in the bottom left side. His opponent is going to be Farmer in the bottom right side, so apparently taking a break from the hot sun outside working on his farm, and is going to be playing Starcraft 2 unless he runs a Starcraft farm, which that would be pretty exciting stuff. So I don't know too much about Farmer. Of course, everyone knows TheLittleOne. And I do want to mention one thing. TheLittleOne does have a live stream that you guys can tune into, so always make sure to check that out. I will post a link down below, but it's always good to follow him on Facebook, I would say, so you know exactly when he's live streaming, as he will post it. He's a great guy. His name's Dario, if you don't know, which I think is such an awesome name. It's like way cooler than Mario. Just the name Dario is pretty awesome. So yeah, he does live stream quite a bit. This is a game sent to me by, I would say, 85 million people wanted me to cast this game, so I'm not quite sure what to expect, but evidently it was a game that a lot of people like, so I don't want to hype it up too much because I haven't seen it, so I can't guarantee the awesomeness of it, but a lot of people did say it was a good game, so hopefully they are not mistaken, and hopefully we have a similar taste in what is a good game or not. So both players going here, getting their barracks, getting their gateway, and other than that, it's probably going to be a standard opener from here on out. Yep, there goes the gas for the Protoss. Getting it as soon as you can and then working on your next worker there. Just missing the end of the Chrono Boost there. Not a big deal. That's just kind of a preference on when you want to get that gas. And the map is Shakuris Plateau. Spawn locations, though. I do want to mention this is the newer version without rocks inside your main base. So this one, the travel distance by ground is pretty long. And travel distance by air not as long, but we could easily see a macro game here just based on the spawn locations alone. And on this map, the players cannot spawn up here if there's a player down here in the bottom left side, which most people already know that, but I always like to remind people that the spawn locations cannot be super close on this map, which can dictate the build orders of the players quite easily. Now, surprisingly, once again, TheLittleOne going for a fast expansion here, which is something he has been doing a lot lately, and unfortunately, a lot of times I see the games where he fast expands, players will punish him for it. However, Farmer is going to go toe-to-toe and start throwing down his own expansion. So I will almost guarantee it, see some sort of macro game. Because what are you going to kill your opponent with if you're going for an early command center and an early nexus with a long travel time via ground? Really, the only thing you can do is throw down a couple more racks and maybe try and push out with some Marines. But by the time they get all the way over there, there's going to be more gateways on the way. And Farmer, does he not have any attacking units at all? No, he does not. Has just been making probes this entire time. Just now starting up a Zealot here. And so the timing of this is much later just because, well, when you get a Nexus before all this stuff, it definitely is delayed. And so, no, he cancels his out there. No surprise to me, really, just because the timing of it, the Cybernex core would have been completed. So probably want to start either a Stalker or a Sentry. A lot of times against Terran, you will see a Sentry first because you can use it to force field that ramp. Although we'll go for the Stalker to help deny the scouting. Sentries are also decent at denying scouting. The problem is that they're so slow and their range is so little. And their damage is like being hit with a wet noodle. So you can still micro, though. Just since it's range, you should be able to clean out that scout. And usually, if you go Sentry first versus Terran, it's to hold off some sort of rush, which you would just use the force field on the ramp, which is just enough time to let another Stalker or so get out. And then you can start using that for defense. Really helps out there. And then Farmer, though, does have his expansion nearly completed. Well, it is completed now. Only a couple workers here, though. Needs to make sure to transfer down a couple. There, no, he's putting those ones in gas. So, seems like he's just transferring one or two and then making the rest here at this location. TheLittleOne is going to be scouting around, seeing if there's any hidden expos. He did already spot this expo, so he knows that if there was an expansion already, a second hidden expansion, then he would be able to cause a lot of damage just by moving out, because that means there are like 0 attacking units for his opponent. So that poor SCV, unfortunately, his days are done. Is he the only unit to die so far? Yes, that one SCV. So if you want me to use the SCV loss tab, then I need to hit the right hotkey, which is, there we go, I'm still learning. Look at this, super exciting, units killed 1, so blue completely dominating that graph, as he has 100% of the kills there. But TheLittleOne is going to be just fine since he does have his expansion done. He has his own third base on the way. Is going to be going against a couple Stalkers. Look at this. Unloads the Marine. Ballsiest Marines I think I've ever seen, and just sprints them directly at the Stalkers. That's where Marines are most effective, is when they're in yo face, shooting yo Stalkers. and I just am not gangster. I am sorry, guys. I try so hard, but I'm just too white. Too white and nerdy. Now, we do have a gas up here for Farmer. No probes in it until just now. Hasn't taken that fourth gas at all, so I'm curious to see what he follows this up with. He does have a forge on the way, as well as some observers, which he just has one observer on the way. Does not have one completed, and also just has these 3 stalkers. So he's playing it really safe. I don't think he knows about this other command center quite yet. No, he wasn't able to bust up that ramp or anything. So doesn't know there's a third base. Doesn't realize that the little one is macroing as heavy as you possibly can in this situation. We do have a warp prism, so I don't know what he plans to do with this warp prism. It'll be interesting to see what he decides to warp in. He does have a proxy pylon over here scouting around for those hidden third bases that the little one will eventually have. And well, he just has in the main base, so he is making workers here. Worker count shows 39 for Dario, 47 for our Protoss player. Of course, using Chrono Boost helps you get him out a little bit quicker, although he does only have 2, and you can see the little one making 3 SCVs. Is this 4 Stargates, Dario? Yes, it is. The observer is going to see this, though, and know exactly what is on the way. So our Terran player going for a lot of starports, and it looks like Farmer decides to react with starports of his own. We may see some epic Star Trek space battles going on in the near future with all these ships flying around. I don't know what to expect, honestly, in this game moving forward. I don't even know how to analyze that because I'm not sure what the little one is going to produce out of here. It may be a mix of Banshees and... Is it going to be all Banshees? He just added so many tech labs. These are all tech labs, all 4 of these. So I'm not sure what he's going to do. He could go for Mass Raven. I've seen him do that. Could go for a lot of Cloaked Banshees. But I have no idea what's going to happen here because this is so unorthodox. Not something you see ever, really, in a Protoss versus Terran matchup. I mean, sometimes you may see 3 Stargates for early kind of damage-dealing Banshees protected by the Vikings. And we do have a warp in over here of some Zealots. Only it looks like 2 kills total on these units, and the Marines will be able to clean this up. Did force the units off the mineral line, though. And so that will be kind of frustrating for the little one. Not a huge deal, but at this point he has 0 map presence at all. I mean, the Protoss has full map control with 3 stalkers, which is essentially nothing. And I like this play from Farmer. Using an observer to spot here with the pylon on the low ground, he can warp in units there anytime he wants. And what do we have on the way here? We have a Banshee, Raven. So getting a little bit of both here, and he is... I don't know what Dario's plan is here. This is honestly so peculiar to me, especially since he has his other command center. I guess he's just using it for mules to mine out his main base as quickly as possible. He will be mined out much sooner than the Protoss, and we do have a third base on the way for Farmer. Always interesting to me to see which third they decide to take. This time it's going to be this one for Farmer, and that's just because it's a little bit easier to guard versus air. On the high ground, you can just put stalkers here and here with just a very few units on the low ground to defend. Now, we do have 4 Phoenix on the field. 2 more are on the way, which is going to be used for these Banshees, which I'm not quite sure what the point of these Banshees are. We do have Vikings now on the way for the little one, and it does look like he will go for a lot of aerial play with this army, which it can be more effective than you might think as the Protoss, because how it works is you use the Vikings to kill observers. The Raven spots the observers, and Vikings kill that, and then Cloaked Banshees kill everything else because you can't spot it. And that is the idea in the build, but much easier said than done because the Banshees are so fragile that they will take a lot of damage really quickly. And now that we have a lot of Phoenix here, which can give Vikings a run for their money if they are in a straight-up battle, and if the Phoenix has some sort of upgrades going on, then that's when they can give the equal amount of Vikings a run for their money. So we'll see. I don't know what to expect. This is so peculiar. I've never seen a game like this where it's mass Phoenix, mass Viking Banshee, duking it out to see who is the better air units. Now, we do have the probes transferring over here to this third base. Keeping in mind the little one has not secured his third base yet. 53, now 54 workers to 70 for the Protoss, so quite a worker count advantage. And now that this third is fully saturated, he will have an economic advantage as well. So +1 attack, nearly, what did it finish? Yeah, +1 finish, +2, or +1 armor finish. Doesn't have the tech for +2 quite yet. The Twilight Council just now on the way. Couple stray Marines will get picked off here, which this is annoying. I mean, these Marines do have +1 attack. They have the combat shield, so they've definitely been invested into being upgraded. And I feel like maybe these Banshees could have done, or maybe the Phoenix could have done some damage here, but he wants to make sure to get away, not engage the Marines at the same time he's engaging the Vikings. There would be too much DPS there for the Phoenix to hold their own. And do the Phoenix have any upgrades? No, they do not. +1 attack is going to be on the way. And that is important because the +2, it does 2 times attacks, so the plus attacks are very vital, especially if you're going towards someone, or going against someone who has a lot of air upgrades as well. So here comes the attack right now. The Stalkers trying to do the damage they need to these Marines, but the point defense drone just causing too much damage. Able to snipe the Raven. Point defense drone not able to keep up with these attacks, and it looks like Farmer may be able to do a lot of damage here. Wants to kill off as many Vikings as possible, but is not able to come out completely on top in that battle. However, there's no ground army here to defend the air units, so now the Vikings are forced to run away. Looking at the units lost tab there, a fairly even exchange. Looks like the little one lost a tiny bit more, plus the Banshees is sitting here shooting away and will kill a couple of sentries, at least one sentry, before he, nope, not going to turn around, going to keep moving out. Could kill the workers here as well. Not sure why Dario is continuing to harass these units when he could just go for workers. Unfortunately, he doesn't know that there's no observer here, so losing a potential of 5 or 6 worker kills at that location. But army size is going to heavily favor Dario, as he is at 122 to 104. And at this point, though, I mean, Farmer had his third base a little bit longer, so he's going to have a couple more dollars to spend. I think it's very wise to start getting these cannons. That is super smart, considering that he's going against air units, which are not the most effective against the static defense. I mean, Banshees aren't bad, but when you have Banshees going against 4 cannons, the Banshees will melt away extremely quickly. Here comes the attack, though, from the little one. Will run in here. Looks like he's going to stem and take out a lot of these cannons. One cannon just barely finishing in time. Blink being utilized here to snipe as many of the Vikings as possible. One Viking goes down. Second Viking, keeping in mind that the Stalkers do additional damage versus Vikings, and able to snipe 3 there. That is a fairly large deal, considering the little one invested so heavily in starports. You can see now Medevacs on the way as well as Banshees, so probably not doing as much damage as he would anticipated himself doing. I mean, if you throw down 4 starports, you better have some sort of monster plan or game technique lined up, because that is such a heavy investment. But instead, to recover the lost time, he's going to be taking his 4th fairly early, but so is our Protoss player Farmer, getting 4 cannons down here as well. So a very heavy macro game so far, with everyone just kind of sitting back, turtling up, getting some weird tech paths going, and then trying to duke it out there. It's a very awkward situation for both players to be in. Needs to make sure to upgrade these 3 gateways into warp gates. And the macro, though, should be quite heavy here. 1,700 minerals per minute for each player. And this pylon here will be able to, it can't spot the command center, but as soon as there's workers, he can warp in units right there to deal with that, and also transferring units over here. So a very interesting game. I don't think I've ever seen a Terran player go for that 4 starport build, and the last thing I thought our Protoss player would react with would be 2 Stargates of his own. Although Phoenix can be very cost-effective in those situations, especially if you start dealing with drops and things like that. It can start to pay off. We do still have 8 Phoenix on the field, which is quite a few. And one unit did get taken out there. I'm not quite sure what was happening, but wasn't able to cause that much damage. And we do have, I mean, the probe there just taking that out, and four racks up here of additional unit production. And I think he's, yeah, the expansion definitely is going to be spotted here by our Protoss player. So 4 base versus 4 base. We do have 1 Banshee over here, which will not be able to harass these probes, it looks like, as there is going to be a cannon. Very nice placement on that cannon, just to kind of guard everything. Even a cannon over here. Oh my goodness, excuse me, this game already 20 minutes, and I don't know who's going to win at all. And we do have just a nice little exchange there, and really we're just kind of sitting back and waiting for either player to decide exactly what to do. And both players macroing up like crazy. I mean, our Protoss player has +2 attack on the way, +2 or +3 armor now. And Zealot Leg is going to be wrapping up here any second. Just now going to be getting that robotics bay for the Colossus. One thing that's good for the Protoss in this situation is if you already have a lot of Phoenix, it's pretty easy to go for Colossus, because the Vikings are going to instinctively shoot the Phoenix since the Phoenix are shooting them. And that allows the Colossus to live for quite a lot longer than you might expect. Here comes the attack in the center of the map. Looks like the little one is going to be stimming here. Zealot Legs has completed, but there's just no Zealots here in this army. But blinking up here to try and focus down the Vikings. Surprisingly enough, that means that these Stalkers are going to be taking a lot of damage here. Not sure why he shot those Vikings, because really all the Vikings were shooting was the Phoenix, which aren't playing that vital of a role. Here are a couple Zealots, though, warping in now to chase this army back. There, there's Zealot Legs just waiting for him to be activated. Here we go right now, as he is going to do that, but loses 2 Zealots right away. Does Dario not have concussive cells? No, he does not. The little one, I have seen this time and time again, has forgotten to get Marauder slow, or it just prefers to not have it, but I can't imagine why. He does have 7 Marauders being produced at the same time. You would think he would have that Marauder slow, but for now he has 2 Battlecruisers on the way as well. So he is going for some battle cruiser play. Very interesting, the little one. We'll see if this is going to work. Throwing down bunkers in the center of the map just to cut this map completely in half. But, I mean, he's only got one more. No, I guess he's got 2 more expansions on this side of the map he could secure. So both players may decide to do that. One Hellion just sprinting up here to see exactly what's going on. Snipes that one lonely probe. This Banshee during that did actually get 8 kills. It looks like, but not, I mean, a huge amount of damage. Because if you look at the worker count, 81 to 76, so fairly even considering how late in the game we are. Here comes a small attack right there. Not able to do that much considering that this army is now a 2-1-2 army. 2 attack, 1 shield, and 2 armor. But the 3 bunkers here, this Marine is just rocking out. Look at him. Look at those moves, man. Everyone is super jealous. But yeah, there is the 3 bunkers here, which will be very difficult for a Protoss to break. He'll have to find another way around most likely. And we do have a Zealot harassment over here. Was it the Warp Prism? Yes, it was. Trying to focus down the command center may force the liftoff here, or at least force workers to have to repair it, which is pretty frustrating. You can see the Zealots are still slowly hacking that way. Now there is a couple battle cruisers completed on the field, and it looks like our Protoss tried to engage this, but it was not going to work out. Able to snipe 1 or 2 Marines there with a nice usage of Blink. At the same time, the multitasking shows us the little one able to clean this up on the top left side as well. And there is going to be a Marauder drop over here. Can Farmer deal with this? He has spotted it. Only 1 kill on these Marauders so far. Will snipe the medevac, so these units are not going home. And then, you know, Dario hands him a couple of free units there. Right when that medevac dies is when those units got loaded inside. So looking at the units lost tab here, almost identical for both players at this stage. What do we have going on? 3 command centers. I feel like the little one this game's like, okay, it's time to expand. I'm going to throw down 3 command centers. Okay, it's time for a tech switch. I'm going to throw down 4 Stargates. So he is doing everything in mass, and we have a fleet bacon on the way as well. Look at this, more battlecruisers, 2 battlecruisers on the way. Seeker missile going to be on the way. And we're going to have Yamada cannons on these battlecruisers up in here. Going to be absolutely bananas, as blinking over there, just killing, you know, kind of a bunker or whatever that was. I'm assuming it's a bunker. The positioning of that says bunker. Doesn't actually have bunker spelled out, but you guys know what I mean. But our Protoss is going to be an expansion ahead here. And here comes another big battle. Zealot charge going to really start paying off here. The Phoenix going to be sniping not only the Raven there, but can also work on the medevacs while running away. But army size is going to favor the Protoss here. The little one going to have to be careful in this situation. He does have some units inside that medevac. Always an annoying misclick on picking up those units. He needs to unload them for sure. But a couple Colossus are going to be completed and causing a lot of damage with that +3 attack. It shows you how quickly they will kill these units with that +3 attack. But the Phoenix have been whittled down once again. The Protoss forced to move back now. And if we look at the units lost tab, who is the victor? Looks like the Terran player in that battle was the victor, although he needs to watch out for High Templar using feedback, especially on those. Is there a nuke going down? Is that, I didn't hear that. There is a potential for a nuke. I don't think it's going to go off though. I'm looking at the map. I don't see any red dots, so there is a potential for a nuke. I don't know if I heard one or not, but the little one could easily go for that. We've seen him use it before, try and bait some units into that. Now we do have 3 carriers on the way for our Protoss player, 3 battlecruisers on the way for our Terran player, and the problem is though, is that once the game gets to carrier battle versus battlecruiser Viking, the Protoss is at a huge disadvantage because the battlecruisers can use Yamada cannon on the carriers while the Vikings are, the battlecruisers use Yamada cannon, Vikings finish them off. However, we do have High Templar on the way for Farmer, so that is good. You can use feedback on the battlecruisers as well as Psystorm, so if you can utilize those correctly, then maybe he will be in good shape as well. The little one now taking, is it just double expansions? So he has 3 command centers back here, as well as 2 more command centers being built. And he's just going to use these for mules right now is what it looks like. So he's just going to hotkey all of these together. And, I mean, look at this. He has 8 command centers all hotkeyed together. There's going to be some minor engagements here. This is going to be a much bigger engagement, though. Stalker's going to try and take on this many battlecruisers. But right now, I think there's more battlecruisers than Stalkers. So that's going to be interesting to try and hold off. Not quite sure what Farmer's plan is here. He'll have to get out, I think, a couple of High Templar for feedback. He does have Psystorm on the way. Here comes the Seeker Missile right there. Going to be doing a lot of damage to this Protoss army. And got to start focusing this down. The Stalkers, though, have focus fired the battlecruisers. And the little one is unfortunately forced to run away with his ground army, which is what is effective against these Stalkers. It looks like the little one going to be losing this battle. The carrier's showing up just in time to hold this off. So nice game sense there by Farmer, able to clean this up. No problem, but you got to remember that the little one has so many mules, the potential for so many mules that he can just mine out entire locations almost immediately and may take out this battlecruiser as well. The +1 attack is done. That +2 shields helping out in that battle a great deal, especially since it makes his carriers much more robust as well, since they have 150 shields. So here is the Banshee just being annoying and harassing this, and he could kill a Colossus with it, which is very frustrating. This command's going to have to fly out of here. No big loss considering how many the Little One has at this stage of the game. But for now, 171 for the Protoss, 139 for our Terran. And part of that supply advantage is going to be in the worker count and carriers. The fact of the matter is they take up a lot of supply as well as a mothership on the way. This is something we haven't seen in quite a while. So he has essentially gotten everything in the book aside from, I believe, Dark Templar and High Templar. Maybe there's something else in there that I am missing. But for now, going for every air unit that a Protoss could ever want. Doesn't have any Void Rays, though. And we do have another nuke on the way. I don't know if... hopefully I won't miss any nukes or anything like that. Banshee got to start harassing here. He has queued up a bunch of attacks to start killing off probes. 3 probe kills already with that +3 attack. Just makes these Banshees terrifying. And does lose the Banshee, though, to those Stalkers. Now, the expansion for Farmer finally getting up and running, although he has been ahead most of the time in expansions. And this many mules, they do such heavy damage to that mineral line that he will be mined out quickly, but you have so much money that you don't even know what to spend it on at all. More command centers going to be... I mean, he just has so many command centers. And this one is upgrading into a planetary fortress. Realizes I probably have too many mules already. And this is really smart because you can use a planetary fortress to defend and then the mules to mine it. So that's pretty awesome. I'll see if it plays a huge role in here. Now, we do have missile turrets set up everywhere. Both these players not quite sure how to kill off each other. The Little One able to re-macro those. It's 199 supply to 176. I do want to mention that we are 30 minutes into this game, as that is a fairly long for a StarCraft 2 game. Could end pretty soon here, though, depending on who wins this battle, as the Stalkers are going to be chasing these battlecruisers. Not able to kill a single one, but I mean, the more damage you can do, the better. They take forever to repair, and it's so frustrating to have to do that, especially since they cost so much and all that. 1 random Marine and 2 Vikings, a little bit of a misrally here. Gonna get taken out there, which really the Little One cannot afford to do right now, because I don't know if he has enough Vikings to deal with these battlecruisers. Looking at the unit stab, there is 10 Vikings, so that's not too bad. But 1 misclicked carrier will get taken out there, so trading a couple Vikings for a carrier, not a bad deal. Mothership is here. I rallied Banshees, so one of these rally points is not ideal, as it looks like the Little One just changing it there right now. But the Mothership does have her own upgrades as well, which is just hilarious to me, as usually you'll just see Mothership rushes. Don't get to see them late game very often, especially in Protoss versus Terran, as the Mothership really doesn't do, I'll be completely honest, really doesn't do that much in this matchup. I mean, you can try and use Vortex, but it's not really that good, especially if they run their entire army in there now. It is not as good, so we'll see, though. A couple SCVs going to be pulled off the line here. It looks like he may be freeing up some supply, and this, unfortunately, this is how the Little One treats an overpopulation problem. Just sends them all to their death, and so that's not good. A random scan going to reveal exactly what's going on here, and I think he sniped the High Templar there, just trying to basically force them dead. So he has to remake them, so they have to recharge energy. Here comes an attack from our Protoss player. May get hit by a nuke here if he's not careful. And the Little One should actually back up here. This nuke, oh god, I think this nuke is going to hit. Unless our Protoss player decides to back up. Here comes nuke right now. The Little One does need to back out. I don't know if anyone's moving their army in time. Storm killing so many units. The nuke takes out the Mothership. Every single unit there by the Little One is going to back out. He says happy face emoticon. And Farmer, though, was able to kill a lot of units there. I mean, yes, he did lose more, but he caused a lot of damage in that attack. The only thing he has to deal with is these Vikings, but then again, that's always the trials of a Protoss, because Vikings pretty good against carriers and Colossus, so he wants to whittle these down as much as possible. You can see using these Stalkers to do just that. And it's not like our Protoss has any shortage of income right now. He is on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 base, and the rally points of the Little One sending all of his units over here. And gonna be starting to put on some pressure. Looks like he wants to lock down both expansions at the same time. Just not enough gateways, it looks like, from our Protoss. I mean, there is some, but at this stage in the game, you need many more. And this Ghost is at 3 upgrades. Ghosts do a lot of DPS if they are upgraded, something that a lot of people don't know. But, I mean, they do 26 damage versus light. That is not anything to laugh at. Unless you're the ghost and you're like, it's getting too hot. And then you're like killing everything. So now Farmer is going to have a lot of difficulty holding this off. We'll see, though. He does have a lot of Stalkers, though, blinking over and has killed one Battlecruiser. Second one's going to go down as well. They do have the +2 armor, but the Stalkers have +333, which makes it very difficult to deal with. However, the little one has done the damage. This expansion's already mined out. Doesn't even need to kill that off. Is he going to be able to get this Nexus? I don't think he will be able to. The Zealot's just being fully upgraded, but so are the Marines, and the Vikings have that +3. So a lot of upgrades for both players in this game. The little one is going to be moving over here. May need to lift off his Vikings as they are in such low numbers now. I don't think they're going to be able to run away. Blinking the Stalkers over here. He wants to micro these down because the carriers can take care of everything else. And the Nexus does remain. Don't know if the little one will be able to focus that down or not. He does, however, kill off all of the Stalkers. This game absolutely hilarious. 46,000 resources lost for Protoss, 40,000 lost for Terran. And if we look at the workers killed, 41 to 41, and the units killed is almost identical as well. So this could not be closer, in that really the expansion that the little one locked down was not the mining one. And our Protoss player, though, is running out of mineral locations here. But then again, so is the little one because he's been using so many mules. Look at this mule. I'm afraid to look at the income tab here. Once these mules are delivering their load, 3,000 resources per minute. And that includes so many mined out bases. He has 1, 2, 3, almost 4 mined out bases on this map. And the only bases left are the island bases, which you can see the expansion getting set up there for the little one. We do have more battlecruisers, even some observers joining in. They do have the observer speed upgrade completed. A couple of Archons being thrown into the mix, which Archons doing 47 damage versus biological. So those Marines better watch out as they only have 55 HP. They do have that +3 armor, but not going to help them in that situation. One Zealot will be warped in down here. This is a really nice play by Farmer. He needs to make sure to be able to get these units out of here, but these mules have nowhere to go, so the little one wasting quite a bit of energy here. And I don't know where that Warp Prism ever went, but needs to make sure to get those units out of here, which is exactly what he's going to do, killing off the rocks. Little one says, all right, I will go away, and is also killing his own rocks here to try and defend this. So such a peculiar situation for both players. The little one now at 175 supply. His opponent is going to be at 172. Turns out my phone was right next to my microphone, so that was probably loud. I do apologize. But anyways, this army now 172 for Farmer, 188 for the little one. But the problem is that this is a lot of High Templar. So that could go either way. If there's EMPs, then there's no storms. The little one does have a cloaked ghost here. He is going to launch a random nuke here, hoping the Protoss runs into it. He might let this nuke actually land just because he'll do a little bit of damage to these buildings. And the nuke is... Oh, the Protoss! I don't know if he sees this dot. Ooh, does kill a couple of it looks like a couple of High Templar there. Another nuke on this side. I didn't realize he launched a second one. And these battlecruisers are getting taken out here. Looks like another nuke is going to go down. I don't know if this nuke is going to have time. I'm not sure where the ghost is at, to be completely honest. Storms on top of everything. Where is the ghost that's launching this nuke? I do not see him unless I'm just absolutely blind. Oh, he is right here. He's between the two Archons, and it does go down. Not going to do that much damage, though. It looks like the little one, the big loser in that game, or in that battle, rather, as there is now a lot of carriers which are fully upgraded aside from armor, which will favor the little one in this battle because his Vikings are fully upgraded aside from armor, I guess, as well. But he will lose a lot of those Vikings here now as the little one's running out of time and steam. He needs to be able to make sure to lock these carriers down using the Marines. That's exactly what he needs to do, is focus down the carriers. Marines do so much damage in this situation, but guess what? So do Colossus against the Marines, killing those off. These ghosts are definitely like, it's getting too hot. Literally, they are super flammable at this point in the game. And again, both armies have been whittled down to virtually nothing as the little one somehow able to hold on here. One feedback being utilized, not going to be that big of a deal though. And going to storm it as well, not able to kill it off. As the battle is going to continue here, this carrier trying to get out there, does not make it. Snipes one Viking, now a second Viking as well will go down. These Vikings are very vital for the little one, but the supply counts now have been hacked down to 100 apiece, essentially. And if we look at the workers killed, 41 to 41 still. No one lost any workers in that engagement. But the little one looking to set up an expansion down here as the map is quickly running out of resources. Although, thankfully for Protoss, he does have this base with a lot of resources remaining. Just needs to make sure to transfer over all of his workers once he gets a chance, not to focus on these epic battles that are commencing back and forth. So both players really low on resources, trying to figure out exactly how to spend what little money is left on the map. And now it is going to be kind of back to square one, where both players are trying to max out again. Or not really max out, but trying to beef up their armies. So we do have 3 Phoenix on the way. Could be cost effective if you can keep them alive. Although what is more cost effective is High Templar. Although he just lost all those, that High Templar had enough for a couple of storms in him, and that's good news for the little one, because as long as he can keep his Marines from being stormed, it will go very well. Maybe going for a drop here. We have not seen very many of these from the little one in this game. And could drop into the main, might prove to be effective, but this attack right here, he's just going to be using the Colossus to try and outrange all these buildings, but it does look like if Farmer wants to commit here, maybe a mistake, but can he hold this off? The little one, that is, didn't see the High Templar joining the army as well, so this command center not ever really going to get set up at the pace he would like. A random planetary fortress is going to be placed down here, and our Protoss player just trying to figure out how to crack this defense of the little one, as the little one is now just sitting back. Might have to start long distance mining right here. There is going to be the drop over here, a very peculiar position to drop this. Feedback going to prevent the medevacs from healing, but did not lose the medevacs there from the energy. You got to remember, medevacs do have 200 energy, so if you feedback it when it has more than 150 energy, it will kill the medevacs, which is very powerful, especially if they are full of units. Sometimes a much more cost-effective spell than Psystorm if used correctly, which our Protoss player has shown good plays so far, so we'll see if he continues doing that. But here comes another attack up here. This is a planetary fortress. May intercept the Marines that are attacking the rocks. These poor Marines, listening to orders, just doing their jobs, do get taken out. Now the missile turrets, though, able to do a lot of damage to these air units. Storm on 1 Marine. The rest of the Marines getting roasted away by the Colossus. Our Protoss player realizes, I need to get out of here. This is way too many Vikings, but he will blink over here to kill those off. That storm just storming his own units, but the other storms may be better. Nice storm dodging so far, though, by the little one. Our farmer Protoss needs to make sure to storm as much as possible, as he's been losing a lot of High Templar, and while having Archons is good, you want to keep those out as long as possible. That 1 EMP does look like it hits all of the High Templar, so you can see instantly morphing them into Archons. Not a bad choice. And then will chase us down. 129 supply to 130. The little one trying to run all these units away. May have to jump them inside the bunker, which is exactly what he is going to do. Now, I don't know if the little one can hold here, as he has very few units remaining. And these Stalkers now could blink over here to take out all these Vikings, but not before the Vikings take out the Colossus. Will they be able to get the carrier? Looks like no, but the little one now falling back under these siege tanks, which have been here for I don't even know how long. But it will force the Protoss back once again. 83 supply to 83. This could not be any more close in these battles back and forth. Both of these players are going to be exhausted. Probably have to take a break after this game. It does look like our Protoss player has killed more units and more workers, but Marines, I mean, are super cheap, so you can't really go by the workers killed tab. So if we look at the units here, we do have a very low amount of workers for both players, considering how long this game's been going on. We do have another nuke on the way for the little one. He already has it. We'll just have to see where he decides to launch it, which I'm not quite sure. Taking a look at the Protoss base, because I don't really know what else to look at this point, because the game is so close. 99 supply to 98. Both players once again running on fumes. Not a whole lot of money left, and you need to make sure to scrape together every unit that you can before you engage this. Now, our Protoss, I don't believe, has any more Colossus. No, he doesn't. So this army is vulnerable to the Marine Marauder on the ground, which there are 7 Marauders on the way now. However, Zealots with full upgrades and charge are pretty tough, especially with the Archons zapping away with that +3 attack. So I still don't know which way this game is going to go. Probably one of the most epic games I've ever seen. There we go, little one finally wisely long-distance mining here. Although it would be cool to see him use these 3 command centers. I mean, just land it here, drop a bunch of mules. If it works, it works. If not, then, oh well, because he has so many command centers now that it doesn't even really matter. He is instead building another command center, which I am absolutely surprised to see. There's going to be a battle over here. Blink, EMP being used as well. Feedback on the medevac, so player spells just going back and forth consistently here. But with 2 planetary fortresses, what can you do? As, I mean, you're going to have to beat these with Void Rays or something, but at the same time, he's not going to be able to afford that. So both players are not even really making that much right now. 1 Marauder and 2 Marines. And our Protoss player does have 1,000 resources, so we'll be able to decide what units to get, but he just can't get that many of them. 1 Zealot running around over here, trying to delay this command center as long as possible. Regroups with all of his friends, and we'll see if he continues to do this. But Banshees are going to be sniping these High Templar. That is very crucial. as these High Templar need to stay alive for Farmer. Especially, I mean, look at his gas. Once the gas is mined up, he can't use it anymore. Will lose more High Templar, which really sucks. Trying to use the Banshees here. So Little One has gone into harassment mode to try and really make his units be cost effective. Our Protoss now kind of on the back foot. The Little One's army definitely favoring him over his opponent, because look, he has less workers and more supply. Actually, it's identical supply, but that just means his armory is a little bit more powerful in the supply count. And he still has higher tech units. Like, he does have his battle cruisers, he has some Banshees as well as siege tanks. While our Protoss, you can see, well, he has one carrier as well, I guess, and a couple of High Templar and Archons. So it could go either way. I just think the army composition is a little bit better for the Little One in this battle. We'll see if he can bust up here. The Planetary Fortress is not completed. Taking splash damage from the siege tanks, that is huge. A little indecisiveness from the Protoss, and now running his units into the Psystorm. And yeah, that was a bad choice. I mean, really, Psystorm, not that a huge deal against him in this battle. But just running into that nice little concave, storming the mules as well was pretty good, and will be forced to back out here. Don't know if he has enough for any more storms. Yes, he does, but the Little One dodging as long as possible. But now this back and forth battle will favor the Little One just because that Planetary Fortress is up and running. We do, however, have an expansion up here in the top center now going down for Protoss. And the attack going to continue in the bomb center. I just don't think he has what it takes to kill a Planetary Fortress, especially that these mules are still alive. But the Zealots will be able to clean these workers, unless he actually right-clicked. I think he right-clicked. No, there we go. Now he cleans it up. But one thing that with how the AI works is if the SCVs are repairing the command center, they count as an attacking unit. So just make sure not to right-click on the Planetary Fortress, and a lot of times these SCVs will be cleaned up by that damage. So not able to break that quite yet. Farmer poking in there, doing a little bit of damage to the workers, but now 67 workers killed there. But I don't know, very weird situation for both players, as I mean, our Protoss player is making some probes, probably wants to chrono boost this out as much as he possibly can. He does have some additional energy in all these nexus, which sometimes when games start going longer and longer, you forget to use your chrono boost. But here comes the attack right here. This could be a very decisive battle, not really much of a battle as it is a one-sided slaughterfest, but oh, the rest of the probes showing up here right at the wrong time. That is a huge deal, as Little One will be able to kill off this expansion, which means the Protoss is going to have virtually no income aside from this one measly little base. But the Little One has this one down here where he can just drop mules, dropping mules like they're hot down there, and this is where it's going to become tough for the Protoss, as the Little One, if he's really cost effective, only needs a lot of Marauders for the ground army and then something to deal with this one carrier. I feel like at this point the Protoss' chances of winning are slowly slipping away. Like every second that goes by, it's going to start favoring the Little One more and more. And I may go ahead and speed this up just a little bit, just to see when this battle actually takes place. Oh, small battle engagement over here. One Lonely Marine gets taken out, which that is no good. There is going to be a battle in the center here. Potential for storms and feedbacks, although the battle cruiser doesn't have that much energy quite yet. You can see probes being mixed into the army because really that's all he's got. And the observer could get taken out. Scan revealing everything that he has left, but the Little One could easily get us around here if he decides to. Do we have nukes? Yes, we still have that one nuke remaining. And the scan reveals everything. The EMP goes down, misses the one High Templar. This other High Templar will get sniped by the Banshee, so nice control by the Little One. Trying to snipe that High Templar with a couple of Marines is not going to happen, so our Protoss needs to do something. And really what he needs to do is kill the army of the Little One, and then if it comes down to a weird stalemate, all he really has to do is make, I mean, he can kill us all off with the carrier. So he needs to make sure not to run his army into the planetary fortresses, which he may do. Not sure why he wanted to kill that Raven. Well, I mean, I know why he wanted to kill it, but wasn't able to get that quite yet. So the only thing he can really do is force the Little One to engage him at somewhere other than a planetary fortress, and maybe he'll be able to win. But at this point, he just can't kill the planetary fortresses with the army that he has. So I'm going to go ahead and speed this up again, as we may see an attack on this expansion down here. And we will indeed going to try and kill off some workers, forcing the workers to repair rather than mine, which is a huge deal, especially when there's mules involved. Will kill off, it looks like, the refinery. But there's a lot of workers here for the Little One. So as long as he has this expansion, it is going to favor him. And the Little One's army size should be much larger. Yes, 130 to 89. We could see some storms on these workers. Yes, we will. And that will kill off quite a few. Just looking at the workers killed tab again, 75 to 63. So many workers killed in this game. Probably one of the most workers killed in any game that I've seen in a very long time. Gonna run a couple Marauders down here, see what's going on. They see an entire army, but he may try and snipe the High Templar. But nope. Nice blink micro there, going to save those. both players, what is their APM? 182 and 175 for this game. And, yeah, there he goes. Now he realizes no concussive shells that entire time. Just now starts to get that. So he will just be starting that right now. And that does play a huge role, especially in a game this long. But I have seen a lot of games with TheLittleOne where he forgets to get that. So he is able to win games quite easily, though. And so maybe not even that important of an upgrade for him. So here comes the attack right now. Concussive shells. He's doing the standard get concussive shells at 55 minutes and 38 seconds. A nice little timing window there where the Protoss usually is not prepared for it. Just kidding, of course. Now, there is a command center going down at the top center. If that one finishes, I think the chances of the Protoss winning are absolutely zero. Here goes a nuke on the ramp. Don't know if the Protoss realizes this because that would be such a weird place for a nuke to be. Could be an epic finish to this if it gets all the high Templar. The nuke getting closer and closer to being done. The Protoss player doesn't know about it. He is going to lose a lot of the units, and his Archon's almost getting taken out there. You can see only 50 shields remain as that nuke doing 300 damage. So this has got to make him not feel very comfortable. But did he kill a lot of those workers? 84 workers killed now, which is just insane. This game is still going on, folks. I cannot believe this. But it is 72 supply to 120, and I mean, this is where mules are just insane because you're always getting energy, and the Protoss player, however, is not always getting probes because that does cost money. Looks like he's going to try and run them up here, but there is a bunker maybe out of range. Not sure if he's going to be able to mine here or not without losing probes. But he's going to engage down here. Once again, he's going to try and focus down. May actually get the planetary fortress, but there's no energy for storms after that EMP. And that is going to be huge, although a lot of Marines get taken out there with one storm. The little one finally going to win a decisive battle. But this army is all completely in the red. And there is going to be the GG. Oh my god, this army was completely in the red. So one more storm would have killed that. He did have a couple more units over here. I would sit here and analyze this game, but I've just been talking for 57 Blizzard minutes, so I think I'm going to go ahead and drink some water and rest my voice. Anyways, thank you for everyone who wished me a happy birthday. I appreciate it. Hope you guys enjoyed this game. Big thanks to TheLittleOne for sending me this game. Go check out his Facebook and his live stream if you haven't. This game was actually played on his live stream, so the people there were watching quite the epic game. I'm glad I got to watch it as well. Thank you for people who send me replays at huskyreplays@gmail.com. Just HUSKY and then replays, REPLAYS @gmail.com. It makes my job so much easier to find the awesome games. So anyways, thanks guys. Hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you guys next time.